Right, Lemon Skunky here, Neural Niche. Just gonna connect real quick with some of my viewers, obviously. Yeah, your Third and Fourth Amendment rights do prevent and protect us from what's happening in Minnesota. If you look at your Third Amendment right, it protects citizens from housing soldiers in their home. Now, ICE is kind of pushing militarized tactics, if you ask me. In fact, we live in an entire military state. It's like a police state. It's a police state and a military state. It's crazy to think about this in this way because you're literally missing the point that if it was you that was going through this, right? If it was your daughter that was killed, if it was your child that was killed because she was in a vehicle and she was trying to drive away, when there are officers that are trained, that have had years of service, that know how to assess a situation and de-escalate it, and they chose to take life anyway. That is not their mission. See, it's like a traffic stop. The mission of a traffic stop is to literally pull the person over and deal with what is going on that had you pull them over, not initiate fucking search and seizures or tell them that they need to fucking get out of the car to do an OWI or any of that, unless there are present indicators that something's taking place, which is called reasonable cause, right? Well, there was no reasonable cause for them to shoot this woman in her head. And then if you look at the shots that were put into the vehicle, one specifically was pointed right where, I mean, you're guaranteed to kill this person. The probability of it being a headshot or a wound that inflicts the upper portion of the body because of deflection off the windshield, because of the way the windshield's angled as the bullet's hitting it, it's crazy. But people are trained in that. When they go to like Quantico and they go to like all these training camps throughout the United States that are in Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia, these places, Secret Service trains, they're all of it, man. You got Fleet Tech, which is the Federal Law Enforcement Training Academy, and it's like, or training center, sorry. But either way, these people are trained to know mathematics on the fly. None of these people are stupid. None of these people are like you. None of these people are like me. These people are highly trained individuals that have been selected by the government, not only based on their IQ, but on their probability that they're going to be able to reason a situation and de-escalate it. We don't run a hunter-killer program, and if we do, it's not being told to the general public. And if that's literally how you feel about your American citizens that are citizens here, how are you going to sit there and say that? You know, I don't believe in freeloading, but I believe in changing citizenship if you want to. I mean, hell, if you can change teams, if you can change your last name, you should be able to change citizenships if you don't like the country you live in and be welcomed in another country as long as you can provide a service, some type of skill, something, some way where you're not on like, federal housing and all that, because we have enough of that, and we should take those allocated monies to those programs and continue funding those programs to get our children off the street and to get drug addicts help. And the reason why I say this is because I'm an addict in recovery. I've been sober for 4 years, and I had a brief relapse that almost killed me, and I'm glad it didn't, because my life is like so much better, even though I'm going through a horrendous and very facetious relationship split up with the mother of my children that has literally gaslit the entire community and trying to believe what she says about me, but all the other oversight into my life by agencies, because I called them first and wanted somebody to help the situation, has proven that what I'm saying is on the up and up. So I can speak on this to my community because I'm a testament to sobriety. Like, I've literally figured out how to stay sober, and it's the fact that sometimes, well, there's a couple things. Addiction runs its course. You have to have enough, right? And I mean, that means it's running its course, because many people say I've had enough, and they probably really felt it, but the addiction didn't have enough. That subconscious thought that triggers you every time in a relapse, it didn't have enough, right? And so here it is. Like, with that being said, back to my points. These people are psychologically different than us. They've gone through every psych evaluation you can think of, and the government spends billions of dollars on this. They don't just spend millions. Like, we're talking about billions into the war machine a year, and if you think about that, most of it's psychological, because weapons and shit like that, that stuff that really doesn't cost us that much. We own all the resources. That's just shit they put on paper so they can take money and funnel it to black sites and government programs that aren't being exposed, that also protect our civil liberties. But as Americans, it is our jobs not to only be patriots, but to uphold the Constitution. And when we see that stuff happening, you have to remember who you are. You're an American. Okay? You are held to a higher standard throughout the world. And, like, you need to, like, appreciate and be grateful for the civil liberties that everyone in this country is protected under. And the second you allow that toxic thinking and that mentality to infiltrate your mind, the war's already lost. It's a psyops war, man. They've already convinced people that what's happening on TV is okay, and this is not okay. This is worse than Rodney King. And back in the day when Rodney King was beat up and he was photographed, you know, everybody like fucking went against that and like rioted and spoke up and had protests and all that shit because it wasn't okay to watch somebody get beat down because they resisted getting out of a car. And that's what Rodney King did. He didn't want to get out of his vehicle. And so they pulled him out and beat the shit out of him in 1994. And like, you know, the LA City riots happened and there was a bunch of controversy over it. But you'd have to have lived through that to know how damaging that was to our society and what it did. It drew lines in the sand that can't be unfucking drawn. You know, there's color lines that shouldn't exist existing in a world, you know, where we're claiming peace and rights and, you know, civil liberties and we're the best country in the world, yet secretly, you know, Jim Crow still exists. You know, slavery exists in our penitentiaries, man. People are in jail for nonviolent crimes that shouldn't even be in there. And it's because they got caught or something. And there's people throughout our whole country that deviously do shit, like these pedophiles and shit. They shouldn't even exist. We shouldn't even be sending people that fucking molest other kids and shit or any child to fucking prison. We should just take them out back and kill them because, like, they're spreading that disgusting gene pool, man. And they say pedophilia, you know, makes pedophilia. So I go back on that gene thing, but it's like the real pedophiles that weren't molested as kids or something. I could see that where it's a gene thing, you know. But that's what I'm saying. Like, these demons are going around the world, fucking our kids, and we're like housing them, and we're paying $40,000 a year as taxpayers to keep these people in prisons, or these people are getting released on I-bonds and all these other signature bonds and all this other shit because nobody wants to keep the fucking people that molest our kids in jail. And it's like, that's what's wrong with this, because the thinking's wrong. So please, I just wanted to say this and put this video out there. I'm going to dig a little bit into my testimony for you guys, kind of where I came from. It's exciting. I'm going to have to make this a couple parts to get the viewers membership up here. But, you know, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, all right? Because I would like to delve more into some of this stuff. Just need a little encouragement every now and then, you know? It's nice to know that I'm reaching and touching people in a way, with my videos that affects their life in a good way, you know, because I've gone through some struggles, man, that I don't wish on anybody. Like, real quick story, I was in Stateville Penitentiary, which is in Illinois, and I wasn't in there for anything crazy. I was in there for an aggravated battery, okay, a fight, and I was housed in a fucking facility that was made for human beings, like cattle warehouses are made for cattle. And like, they brought the showers to your cell. You ate 3 Lunchables a day. Like, for real, people go in there losing weight, man, you know. And people are like, well, that's prison. It's like, well, I don't know, that's inhumane treatment. And if it's about correction, how is that correcting anybody? Has like somebody telling you you're gonna get a ticket ever stopped you from speeding? I mean, come on, no. Education and prevention, right? That's what we should be about. Not about reacting, but preventing. Like, helping people with drug addictions. And again, there I go back on that because it's such a real subject in my life. You know, I was addicted to drugs and lost my kids a couple times. Like, not these children, other children. Like, I've had 3 families, man. And so there's a lot in my life I'm going to bring forward to the forefront here, or forward to the forefront. I think it's worth it. I think that it'll do some good. I just don't know how to build it up yet. I'm working on it. Anyway, so visit Neural Niche, check it out, see what's up. Tell your friends, share it. Don't be scared. Peace out.